hated seeing me because I was hounding him for business, and that went against what I wanted to do. These people didn't like me, and I was like, there has got to be something else.
The biggest thing in any market is pricing it right and not becoming shelf-worn, because if you're sitting out there for too long, people say, well, what's wrong with that house?
You just have to jump off a cliff if you really want to have success in real estate.
Welcome everybody to the Realist Podcast. We are so excited because here on this podcast, we have the cream of the crop, the best and the brightest real estate professionals in the Houston area. And today we have Ryan and Melissa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Yay.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
so excited to have y'all here. So I knew I had to have y'all on here because you guys are a husband and wife team, which that's what Roll and we got connected somehow. I think maybe Callie connected
Callie,
us.
yeah.
Yes, so that's really cool because everybody else that we've had on, we've been connected just through social media. Like we slid into their DMs or something happened. They found us on social media. And I'm so excited because we were found through a referral. So that's really cool. And we've been able to get connected, see Ryan's creativity, see Melissa in the background doing some cool B-roll.
Right? Teamwork.
Yeah, so we are so excited to be able to get a different perspective of the real estate life from a husband and wife team, see how it all has gone. Take me back into your journey. And maybe Melissa, you get started first. How did you get started into this?
Yeah, I had a marketing degree and was doing a marketing job just out of college.
Yeah.
And it was fine, but I wasn't super in love with it. And my mom actually started selling real estate for a new home builder.
Oh.
And she was doing it, and I thought, I never thought I would be a person to go into sales.
Yeah.
I'm not naturally very extroverted, but she was doing really well, and she was making great money, and so I thought, let me try it. So I went to work for a home builder. I went to work for Pulte Homes. It's the only home builder I work for. I was with them for 8 years.
Whoa.
Learned a ton about the industry, about homes, about how homes are built, how homes should be maintained. I learned a lot of great sales skills from them as well. And then I got tired of minding the store.
Yeah.
When you work for a builder, you're there every day till 7. You have to take your weekends for other people's events. If you want to go to a wedding or a graduation or a baby shower, you have to take your vacation days for that. So I got tired of my schedule being somebody else's control. I had already gotten my real estate license, so I decided might as well move over to this full time.
Yay, I love it. And I bet your marketing degree helped in a sense with helping them grow their whatever it is.
Yeah, sure. It gave me a really good foundation for all the other specific industry stuff that I learned.
Very cool. So that's where you went into out of college.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Awesome. Interesting. Okay. So Ryan, your path wasn't so straight to the point, right?
No, it definitely wasn't as straight as that. So I graduated from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and I came straight out of school, and I was a police officer for a short while, and that wasn't a fit there. Parted ways with that and moved down to Houston just because more opportunities for jobs and work and things like that.
From Nebraska?
From Nebraska.
Wow. How'd you choose Houston?
I grew up as an oil field kid. My dad worked for over 30 years for BP.
Yeah.
And so we had lived in Houston, actually, and that's how Melissa and I initially met. We met in middle school.
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
6th or 7th grade or something like that. So, and then I came to Houston. I didn't really know a whole lot of people, and so I did know Melissa, and she connected me with a whole bunch of other kids that I had gone to elementary school with, middle school, and so, so I came down here, and I didn't have a job, and I found a job working in consulting. I have a degree in accounting and a degree in economics.
Ooh, numbers.
So, numbers, using that degree as a consultant and traveling probably 75% of the time, just traveling around different places to do that job, and realized Melissa was making quite a bit more money than I was and not having to go anywhere. And I decided one day that I was going to jump ship from consulting and try this new home sales gig.
Oh my gosh.
I decided not to work for Pulte just in case it didn't work out. I got a builder job with a different builder.
Oh, that's interesting.
So when I first started doing it, Ryan said, Melissa, if it were that easy, why wouldn't everybody be selling new homes?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know, but I'm going to try it out for a little while.
Yeah.
And he saw I had quite a bit of success.
Yeah.
Decided to give it a shot, but we weren't sure he was going to do well with the general public. Not always a people person, surprisingly.
That's too funny.
Or maybe his patience isn't such that we thought he might not be good in a sales job. So we decided, maybe it made sense for him to start somewhere else first to make sure it was a good fit.
Well, most people like me when they're working with me, but a lot of bosses sometimes don't like me.
Bosses.
And that's why
That
I
is
probably worked for
hilarious.
about every builder that there is in Houston.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't have anything for me to sell, they would want me to wait for the next section or for
Yeah.
the next neighborhood. And I really wasn't into that. So I would jump builder to builder all the time and just make money wherever I could.
Yeah, that's so funny. So what is it about your personality that wasn't fit for that position?
Oh, the police officer position? Or do you mean
no,
which one?
staying with one builder?
Staying with one builder. Mainly just because I don't have a whole lot of patience and I don't want to wait to make money. If I'm working, I want to get paid. And so when you're working for a builder and they have nothing for you to sell, it's a straight commission job.
Wow.
So you're making no money and they want you to just sit and
that's
wait for the next
crazy.
one. And maybe they're giving you a little bit of money to get you along, but that's not what I'm there for.
Okay,
so,
I love
I had to make some
it.
moves
So
and find the spots that fit.
That contributes a lot to your spark and to your energy and how you serve your clients now. So I love that. I love that. That's super interesting. So then after working with the home builders, what happened then?
Yeah, my business grew enough that I was really busy and was looking to hire someone. We both actually got our license in 2005.
Okay.
I didn't start using mine actively till 2007, but Ryan got his back then too. We always knew that probably the future would be more general real estate, but it just happened a little quicker than we expected. Ryan came to join me in 2012, I believe, after working for probably 6 or 8 different builders in Houston.
Yeah.
So he was all over the city, sold all kinds of different houses. And yeah, he joined me in 2012.
Wow, that's very cool. Okay, what was going on with you that he had to join you? How was that possible?
Yeah, we have always been committed to our clients and growing our business kind of organically. So I was just doing enough transactions that I couldn't handle any more transactions without a partner. Ryan came on. We had some admin support at that point, but really we needed 2 bodies to be 2 different places at one time. That's why he joined me. Yeah.
That's awesome. We work with several husband and wife teams, but one spouse is still either part-time or he or she have their other job just because of the certainty. So what advice would you give a husband and wife team that wants to work together full-time? How was it possible for you guys? How were you able to build your business?
Yeah, I think it's like when people want to get their real estate license the first time. You just have to jump off a cliff if you really want to have success in real estate.
Yeah.
You have to be available to clients at times that can often conflict with another job, and you have to work on your business. How are you going to grow your business? And that's a piece, I think, the showing of homes and the finding homes for buyers and putting homes on the market for listings is frankly the easy part of the job. It's the getting of the clients. It's the how are you going to grow your business. That's really where you have to spend your time. And that's a really difficult thing to do if you're working another job.
Yeah.
My advice to people who both spouses want to do it, it's the same thing. You just got to jump off the cliff and both give it your all. I think you've got to do some planning. Insurance is a thing we hear commonly. People don't want to give up health insurance or benefits.
Yeah.
Do the math on what that's going to cost you. It's 1 transaction a year. Can you do 1 more transaction if your spouse is full-time? That generally would cover all your expenses related to your health insurance.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, so sure, it's a little bit scary, but Blue Cross Blue Shield's out there and they supply everyone.
Yes.
The other thing that is good about it when you are a husband and wife team, you can start to form an LLC and you can do some other things on the back end. They give you some tax savings long term.
Yeah.
And that also offsets maybe some of your costs that you would have as a solo agent versus a corporate entity with your spouse. There's some tax savings as well that contribute to that bottom line.
I love that. That's a good piece of advice for those couples. So, Ryan, how was it jumping from the home builder to joining Mel?
It was a transition for sure. We're very different personalities. And my advice would be if there's another husband-wife team that wants to work together full-time, be sure you figure out who likes doing what and let that person focus on that piece of the business. There's so many different segments that you can focus on for real estate as far as what it takes to make it successful. So let the person who likes those things do those things and split up the work that way. And then for sure, too, if you're going to work from home and both of you are going to work from home, if it's anything like us and Melissa is more introverted, I'm extroverted, make sure one of the offices has a door because I know that if Melissa's door is closed, I'm not supposed to be bothering her. It doesn't always work. And I still often knock on the door and get in trouble.
We did get a lot of really good coaching and advice leading up to working together. We took the DISC profile. I think a lot of agents have taken that, and we're literally exact opposites on that. So we knew that, I built a successful business not being a DI person. So we knew it could be done, but my natural inclinations is more the SC. So we're like, okay, that's the part of the business I'm going to lean into. This is the part of the business he's going to lean into because he is the high ID. And then we knew the other one could do the other jobs. And we gave a little room and grace for that. If I've got to go to a networking event or host an open house, he knows that's going to take a lot more energy for me than for him. Yeah. And the reverse is true. If he's going to have to sit a whole day doing paperwork, that's going to take a lot out of him. And I have to know that and give a little space for him not to be thrilled about doing that.
I love that. So you're the extrovert and you're the introvert.
Yeah.
And what I heard from before, like your degrees, I know we change a lot whenever we're in college, and each year in life we're changing, but maybe you're the more creative one and you're the more like logical numbers one, or
I don't even know if I'm super numbers, but I'm definitely not creative. If she's the chef, she can make an amazing meal out of things that are just in the pantry, not even having to go shop for it. And if I don't have specific recipes that say, okay, quarter pinch of this, what a cup of this and all that, it turns out awful if I just try to make something out of nothing. So she's definitely way more creative than I am.
I love that.
But he's so good with people and it comes so naturally to him and it fills his cup to be in front of people.
Yeah.
I love people and I like talking to people and I can do it really well, but I need to recharge with quiet time.
Yeah.
And so that's the main difference in terms of, I think, our personalities. Ryan can be really super analytical on things, but from the business perspective, on the back end of how we do things, that tends to be where I focus for us. Because I honestly, our degrees are probably reversed. I probably should have been the one with the
really?
degree.
That's funny.
Not that you should have been marketing, but the being in front of people, talking to people.
Yeah.
Yet again, that's a little bit more your natural inclination.
I think I was made more for the traditional sales role. When you think of a traditional salesperson, probably that's more my personality.
And you were doubting that in the beginning, like you weren't sure if he was made for sales. So it's just about jumping in and seeing if you're a fit. And if you're not, then
you can't plan everything and how everything is going to go. And you're going to do things that you don't want to do, that aren't your natural inclination, that aren't your favorite part of the business. That's just part of being a self-employed person. You've got to do all the jobs.
Yeah.
But if you can sit with your spouse in particular, or even if you're just hiring a partner or you're going into a relationship with another agent, you've got to just sit and talk through those things and see whose strengths lend to what part of the job. So I think it is good to have opposite complementing personality.
For sure. Yeah. What I love that I'm noticing is that you know yourselves very well. And working together as a husband and wife, it's, yes, marriage, but you also have to say, okay, we're also like a business and we have to treat and respect each other as coworkers. And I love how y'all did the DISC personality test. Yeah. That gives me an idea to do with Raul because whenever, as you're building something, it's so important to be able to distinguish that and respect each other's differences and help each other out whenever one needs that from the other person. So I love that. Okay, so you guys started growing. So you invited Ryan onto your team and then kept growing from there. Tell me about that.
Yeah, our next teammate was an administrative position. She was part-time. She did our back-end stuff, our transaction management, assistant type work. And then she wanted to dig deeper into real estate, and that really fit well with what we needed. We needed somebody who was willing to do a little bit more of the front end work too. So she got her license. Her name is Sue. She is still on our team. She is invaluable to us. So she's a true partner with us now. Yeah. There's 3 of us. And then from there, my mom, who is the reason I got into real estate, she retired from the corporation she was working for. And I said, hey, you want to be fully retired? Or do you want to work a little part-time in real estate? So she works with us as well.
Oh, I love it.
The great thing about her specifically is, obviously, when Ryan and I go on vacation, we go on vacation together. 2/3 of the team is out of town. Wow, yeah. We go on vacation, so it's nice to have somebody that has more experience than we do that can get out there and plug right into our clients. So she helps a lot with that, and she does, obviously, her own business as well. But.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so your administrative assistant kind of transitioned to become a real estate agent full-time. Yeah. So what happened to that role? Because I know with each transaction, and y'all do a lot each year, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of components to it.
We have had administrative support over the years, but we just have not found the right person to plug back into the role that we had with Sue early on. I think she spoiled us a little bit. So we've had some admin help over the years, but we're actually actively looking for somebody to fill that role right now.
Alrighty.
Yeah, somebody who wants to be an agent or who is an agent, maybe who needs a little bit of help in coaching and mentoring to grow a little bit more, that is confident on the administrative side of things, or somebody who just wants to put their toes in the real estate world and is willing to get trained and learn from us.
Okay, so y'all heard it here first. Maybe not first, but if anybody is looking for a great couple to work with, a great team, and has those qualifications, then reach out to Mel and Ryan.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I was looking over y'all's information and y'all's pages. Over 300 5-star reviews. How is that possible?
I think it's really possible just the way we've chosen to grow the business, which is through referrals. So if I help you buy and sell a house or do anything in real estate and we get along great, chances are I'm also going to get along with your friends, your family, because you're probably similar with them and their personalities and their viewpoints and things like that. And so when you work with people who you like and they like you, it makes it fun.
Yes.
One of our slogans, or however you want to say it, is that we love making clients into friends, and that happens tons of times. And so then when that happens and everyone has a smile on their face at the closing table, that means 5-star reviews typically.
Yay.
So we've been really blessed to be able to grow that way. And it makes it fun for us too, because having a job that you enjoy doing, it just feeds on itself, right? If you're dreading going and sitting in your cubicle every day, your work product may not be as good as it could be. But if you're really excited to get out there, see houses, and help people really achieve those kind of dreams, it gets you out of bed in the morning and you do it well.
Yes. So to put y'all on the spot, if one specific event or closing comes to mind that was like super difficult in the beginning and y'all were able to overcome that?
I can't think of one specifically. It's a stressful process, both buying and selling a home. There are people that have made dozens and dozens of offers. There are sellers whose homes have been on the market longer and longer than they want. So I think a key thing for us is we're pretty good at keeping clients really highly informed through the whole process. They know what's going on at every step. They know that they can reach us. If they can't reach me or Ryan for some reason, they know who else on the team that they can reach. So I think that allows us to serve our clients at a really high level and then have them reciprocate. They appreciate that service, and they know like leaving reviews is a good way to honor us, to spread the word about our business. And it's interesting, HAR will only let a client review you once. You can only send one email to one individual email address.
Yeah.
And we have clients that have done 5, 6, 7, 8 transactions with us. So the number of reviews we have is actually really small in comparison to the number of transactions we've done. We've probably done 1,000 transactions in our real estate career.
We need to talk to...
Yeah. It's funny. It just popped into my head. I hadn't thought about it. Which we'd try out. Some people we direct to Google, but HAR is a little bit more organic place for people to use us. And a small thing, too, we learned years ago, a lot of agents getting the business is the hardest part, and a lot of agents buy leads. You know, there's tons of sources out there that you can buy leads, and I actually dabbled in that once, and it was very expensive. Yeah. And people hated seeing me because I was hounding them for business, and that went against what I wanted to do. These people didn't like me, and I was like, there has got to be something else. So that's when I doubled down on working by referral. Okay. And so that meant for me, I spend my time and my resources building up my clients and visiting my clients and having parties for them and bringing them gifts and focusing on staying in touch with them. And that's a much better way for me to live my life, for Ryan, for us to be happy in our business and staying top of mind to our clients so that hopefully when they have friends and family that need real estate, we're right there at the front of their mind.
I love that. So how is y'all's favorite way to stay in touch with them? Is it, you've mentioned several different ways. Is it events? Is it calling them? Is it social media?
Yeah, we do probably the top 2 things we do, pop-by gifts. When we're in a community, we try to stop in and see the other clients that are in that area. Sometimes it's an organized effort where we've got 50 gifts that we're going to deliver. And we try to sometimes do that on a weekend. Yeah. So it's going to take all day, we know, but we want to actually see our people and make eye contact and say hi.
Oh, I love it.
So we stay in touch with that. We do gifts. We try to do a gift for each client on their house anniversary date that falls into that. And these are really small gifts. Yeah. And then the other thing is probably social media. We try to be pretty active on social media.
And on that social media part, when did y'all get started with that specific strategy? How was it? Because I've been seeing y'all pop up on video. Y'all are on there every day.
I think it started with MySpace, right? Or Friendster?
Oh,
maybe AOL.com? How old are you, Melissa?
Right? joke that I'm the wagon wheel of my friend group. I've always been a person who has been in touch with people I know through all phases of life. That's part of the reason that Ryan and I connected from 7th grade to becoming adults and initially getting married. But I think I always had a social media presence, but it wasn't necessarily part of my business plan, where we've leaned a little bit more into that this year. And that's a big piece of what we do with you guys is the videos that we do with you guys. A little bit higher quality. It's different than me holding the camera and filming Ryan doing something. So we wanted something that could promote our listings in a really high, effective way, but that also gives us a little bit more recognition to clients.
For sure.
Yeah. It's a reflection of us too, and the quality of work that you guys are able to put out, and we're involved with it. It's a positive light and reflection about what we can do and the level of service we want to provide.
Yeah. And how do you feel, Ryan, being in front of the camera so much?
At the beginning, I didn't really particularly care for it. I've gotten more used to it. And even now, though, there's a few times I can think of one time in particular in a pasture spinning like it's the sound of music as a drone pulled away. And I thought, this is so goofy. And I'm not sure if I'm going to even include this in anything. But it turned out good, and people liked it and commented on it. So, and the house sold in like 2 days. So,
Oh
and
my
probably
goodness.
due to the spinning. So.
Due to the spinning, yeah. Hey, who doesn't love Sound of Music?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
We should have had a little Julie Andrews on the top of that audio.
Yes, y'all can
reuse it.
repurpose it.
That's right.
And have a little Julie Andrews Easter egg in there.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's too funny. Okay, give me an idea of what you guys do whenever y'all are marketing for y'all's clients. What do y'all do besides the video work and stuff? How do y'all promote them?
No, I guess we're talking specifically listings.
Listings,
getting in front of people. Still, a lot of it is data and analytics. And as far as, to me, the most important thing is we got to look amazing on someone's phone. That goes, you already mentioned the media and pictures and all that. But I think, too, the biggest thing in any market is pricing it right and not becoming shelf-worn. Because if you're sitting out there for too long, people say, well, what's wrong with that house? And no one else wanted to buy it. It's been a month. I don't even need to bother making an appointment and looking at it. I know there's something wrong with it. So it's really important to get that right on the front end. And there's a lot of data that we sift through to try to advise clients on the best way to go about that. And then come to a number that everyone's happy with, that we can hopefully get it sold for them quickly. What else do you think?
Pricing strategy is a big piece on the front end. And then, of course, we do staging advice. We send a stager through a lot of our properties. We want, you talked about wanting to look good on the phone. We have a set of staging advice we give clients before we take photos, for what we're going to do for showings, and then what you want to do just on a daily basis. There's a lot of different phases to that to make sure the property is always looking its best, because we can drive all the marketing in the world to a home. If it is not showing its best, it doesn't really matter. But then, yes, of course, we're gonna dig deep on who the buyer for a property is going to be. So it's back to some of the analytics. Who's buying in the community? What do they look like? Where are they? And then focusing on that as some of our marketing efforts. And that's pushing out the videos and the photos and open house notifications and that sort of thing. We also take advantage of all the tools that we have on the back end. People can bookmark a property. There's reverse prospecting. There's all these other tools that we do to make sure that agents are aware of properties that have sold in a community actively, that anyone that's bookmarked that property, we don't want to just trust that they bookmark it and they saw it. We're going to be proactive in communicating with those folks.
Yeah,
to make
that's
sure
key.
They know if we've had a price adjustment or if something has changed or if we're having an open house even. We want to make sure that they've actually gotten an invitation to that.
Yeah.
And then there's some things that you can do on social media too to promote specific properties. The demographic information on Facebook and things is a little bit harder to do now with some fair housing things, and they've tightened their guidelines up, but we can still try to get it out there to the right set of eyes, not just to anyone looking.
Yeah, exactly.
And each house is unique too, so we'll try to do the marketing and make that unique as well. I'm thinking, for example, of a specific unique home that we did a sip and see. So we put a sign out and said, it wasn't even on MLS yet, and we said, neighbors, come take a look at this home that's going to be hitting the market. Come pick your own neighbor, have a glass of wine, and check this house out. We had tons of people through, and that house sold really quickly too in one weekend.
It sold to a neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. And again,
That's
just try
creative.
to be creative. Not every property is the same. Not every community is the same. So you need to do different things in different areas.
You got to be flexible. It's not just one formula that you jam every house through. You got to make it work for each property.
I love that, because some agents, maybe they're newer or maybe they're just tired. They'll just put it on the MLS for their clients and fingers crossed it'll sell. But I love hearing all these creative things that you
especially
do.
we're shifting. In the last few years, you did just put a sign in the yard and house on MLS, and it did sell. And now people are like, wait, what do we do here? What if it hasn't sold in a week? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
We panic a little too. Clients panic a little too. And we all have to sit down and realize, okay, 10 days on the market's not a long time. But there are things that we have to do now in a changing market to rely on some of that past experience and past things that we've done. We just plug those systems back in.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. Just to round out, and I totally forgot the icebreaker question. So we'll do the icebreaker questions at the end to break the conclusion. What's your favorite? Let's start off with Ryan. What's your favorite or most important past failure that has led to success now?
I'm not sure if it directly led to success, but it got me where I am today, which I guess is successful, right? So anyway, probably the past failure that I think of is the law enforcement experience that I had. I just realized about myself that I don't do well in a very structured environment where you're not able to ask questions and figure out exactly why you're doing what you're being told to do. Just didn't really fit with my personality and how I want to live and how I want to work. And so that was an important lesson for me to learn that, hey, I need to find something where I'm not feeling like I am trapped and only have to do things one way. I need to have a little bit more flexibility and be able to control a little bit more of my own destiny and how I'm going to get things done. Like the old saying, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. I like being able to have all those options.
I love that. That's
Sorry,
powerful.
cat lovers.
Also makes you a good problem solver.
It really, that's one of my strengths, I think, too, is just problem solving. And then as I've done so much real estate, I'm able now to hopefully know that problems that could come down the road and avoid them way before. So we can steer around the potholes as opposed to having to bounce through them. The general idea.
That's powerful. Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Melissa?
I think the same thing. It's not specifically a failure. It's more I was told over and over again I wouldn't be successful at real estate because my natural personality is more introverted. We used to say shy, but now I'm introverted. And I don't have the typical ID personality. I should have been someone's real estate assistant or done a different job. But what I learned is that I can lean into my relationships. And I have really deep relationships, and that can go along with having a successful real estate business.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. I love that. Okay. So what is something from your past? We're digging deep into the past today. What is something from your past? Let's go to Ryan that you can laugh about today.
One of the biggest things that I laugh about today is it goes with when I asked Melissa, if this job looks so easy and you're making so much money, why isn't everyone doing it? Same thing with real estate in general. She was really wanting to get invested in real estate from the very beginning. I was never interested in that. My father was never into that sort of investing. He was always into investing, but it was always stocks and bonds and things like that. And so growing up, that's the way I learned and the way I thought was the right way to grow your portfolio. And I was really against it for a lot of years. And then finally, Melissa wore me down. And I decided that, hey, let's dip our toe in this real estate investing thing. And I guess we have to look at the numbers. She'll have to show me the numbers on our Excel spreadsheet. But those investments have done fantastic for us. We've had them for several years now as rental homes and things like that.
Very cool.
Most of them more than doubled in value.
Wow,
in
that's
about 10
incredible.
years.
So I don't know if I laugh about it. I cry about it because I should have done it way before.
I know.
I'd have more money,
the
right?
Regrets.
But I'm glad I finally listened to her like always.
Did you in stocks and bonds?
Oh, yeah. So we're
Compared?
diversified that way because since we're both in the real estate business for our normal job, helping people buy and sell homes, having all of our money also in real estate in the same market, essentially, Houston area, it just didn't sound like that was a great idea. But so we definitely still have some diversification through other markets.
That's wise. But comparing them, what is doing better? What do you say?
It's hard to judge what an initial investment versus what the value. I think the value is probably about.
It's going to depend on the time horizon you pick too.
Yeah.
So we've been investing for a long time.
Yeah.
We're way older than we look. But so it depends what you look at. But they're probably pretty consistently equal.
Maybe like 60% more invested in the stock market than real estate.
I will say
in terms of what the overall value is at this point.
If you're in the real estate business, you're able to have a level of knowledge and see homes that maybe some other people don't even understand what you could do with it, and you can get it at a price that's unbelievable if you can help someone get out of a home before maybe it even has to hit the market. So you have opportunities to buy things at such a low basis, a low cost basis, versus the stock market where unless you work for that company, it's really hard to have that deep of a level of knowledge of what you're getting into.
I love that. And do y'all give some of this type of advice to your clients? Do they look for y'all Oh my gosh. Cut! Remember, Melody, cut it here. Let me make a big scene. Do they look to y'all for investment advice?
Yeah, we definitely have lots of clients that are also real estate investors.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Awesome.
Lots of repeat clients. And a lot of people right now in the current market, you know, if they have a low interest rate on a mortgage on a home that they've been living in and they're ready to move to the next home, it may make sense to keep that low interest rate as an investment property and look at those options as those property values have grown. So we definitely have lots of investor clients as well. And we've got spreadsheets upon spreadsheets and advice.
Yay.
And we can talk to them about why we choose certain areas and what we look for in rent houses as well.
Okay, last and final question. What would you tell yourself as a new agent?
My number one is to get some form of accountability or reinvest in your business or sit and look at your business at least once a week. I think that we get caught up in the day-to-day of it, and it's really hard to look back at it. When I started treating my business like a business is when things really changed for me. Yeah. I had a rough couple of years like a lot of people do when I first got into this, and my income reflected that. And then I got an accountability group that I still meet with. We've been meeting for over 10 years.
Wow.
We meet once a week. We take it pretty seriously. We brainstorm, and it helps me, even if I'm not necessarily getting a bunch of new ideas, it helps me refocus once a week on what do my numbers look like? What do I need to do this week? What did I maybe not accomplish last week that I need to look at? And I think that's probably my biggest advice to somebody is treat it like a business and have some form of accountability.
I love that. What about you? What do you tell yourself as a new agent?
I would agree with that and just go a little bit from a tangent from that and just say have an accountability partner is great, but if you can have a teammate, it's even better. You're pulling the same direction all the time. It's the ultimate form of accountability if you're actually married to that teammate, right? So you don't always have to do it that way, but maybe even it's a mentor or someone else who can help guide you and is willing to share with you that way. And then the second thing for me is I like to write things in a little notebook all the time, and I'll just have notes that I can read. Yeah. But it was important for me, and I'm getting better and better at it, putting it in a database or some sort of system that's going to help. I don't have to flip back pages in a paper notebook to remember, oh, I talked to so-and-so about this house or what have you. Yeah. It's in a database that can tickle you and remind you that, hey, maybe it's time to touch base with them again and things like that. And then it helps with the marketing and just nothing falls through the cracks, which can happen if you're just doing the old school paper and pen way. So I would say do that and then work that database. That's a valuable resource for you to be sure that you're maximizing your business and your time. Yeah.
So really quick, tactical, how do you work a database?
How do you work a database? Great question. So
in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds. So basically you put people in there and then you can set up reminders at a certain time frame. Not everyone needs to hear from you every single day, but maybe they need to hear from you in a month, and maybe you need to set up an HAR search that doesn't send them houses, it sends you houses. That you then have a reason to reach out like, hey, Raul, this house just popped up. It fits your criteria. Yeah. Would you like to go this weekend and maybe take a look at it with me? Things like that. Just make great touch points.
Milestone things for clients too, to keep up with people. Maybe in 6 months, I won't remember that you just had a baby boy and what his name is. And those are things when you're talking about working by relationship with the number of clients that we have, sometimes you forget the small details. So it's important to have those in a centralized place.
I love that.
And it makes it easier for the team to see them too. Yes. Not everyone's seeing my pen and paper notebook. In fact, I'm the only one that sees it. So it's way easier to share that way.
Exactly. I love that. That's brilliant.
Was that 30 seconds?
It was great. The greatest 34 seconds. Thank you guys so much for spending the time with us. And now to round it off, I have a few questions, but this time we're going to switch it up since we have a husband and wife team. So Ryan, you're going to answer for Melissa, and Melissa answers for Ryan.
This sounds dangerous.
No, super easy. Hopefully. How many years of marriage do y'all have?
I was like, we're both supposed to answer 21.
21.
I was like, is that for one or the other? Is that a trick question?
That was the first trick question. You lost, Ryan. No, just kidding.
Right?
Okay, staycation or vacation? For Ryan.
She wants vacation. I'm answering for Melissa, and she loves vacation.
I think Ryan would go vacation too.
Yeah? Okay, with that, bouncing off of that question, mountains or beaches?
Melissa likes mountains.
Yeah, Ryan does too.
Oh my gosh, you're so good. Okay, beer or wine?
Melissa likes wine. Red wine, not Pinot.
I think it's probably a toss-up for Ryan. He likes them both, hazy IPA or red wine.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. Okay, these are like easy peasy. Yeah. Downtown or suburbs?
Oh, Melissa, downtown for sure. both. We've lived in the suburbs before, and we should have moved downtown way sooner than we did.
Brian wanted a 3-car garage and a pool and all the things. So we lived for 12 years in the suburbs and moved town. We will not be back to the suburbs.
Wow. Okay, tell me about it. Tell me about it, because I just hear traffic and I hear crazy
There
things.
is traffic, but everything is 1 mile from your house.
Oh.
So even if you have traffic, it still takes you 10 minutes instead of half an hour to get there. No, we love restaurants. We love going out to eat. We love the theater. We love the sports teams. We love walking to dinner. We can walk to probably 50 restaurants from our house.
Wow.
So we love that. We love the parks. There's so much green space in Houston. I think a lot of people don't realize. I walk in Buffalo Bayou Park almost every week, every day almost.
And for what we do too, if you look at the map of Houston, 610 being the circle, we're right in the middle of that. So if you want a house in the Woodlands, I can get there. If you want to be in Katy, I can help you there. Friendswood, same way. It doesn't matter which direction you're going from. If I'm in the middle of it, it makes it easy for me to get around. And
we're not groaning because it's
working.
4 o'clock on a Thursday and we're in Katy and you want to see a house in Clear Lake. Like, okay, that's fine.
No problem.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. It has been an honor for me to have you guys here. Thank y'all so much for taking the drive out here to the suburbs.
Thank you. We have fun.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah.